and co-captain, your quarterback, number 10, Colin Kaepernick.
With pick number 36 in the 2011 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Colin Kaepernick, quarterback, Nevada.
It's my guy, Mel. Go, boom. It's my guy.
Jim Harbaugh has just made one of the most prolific quarterbacks in all of college football the second-round choice of the San Francisco 49ers.
Ball too long. Kaepernick holds on to this ball way entirely too long. Ball has to come out. Kaepernick saying, wow, these guys are fast on this level.
49ers head coach Jim Harbaugh and his quarterback, Alex Smith. Smith on third down. He'll take it himself for a first down and more. Alex Smith is in. Touchdown. Smith throws. The catch is made. 49ers take the lead.
Alex Smith out for the game with a concussion, and the 49ers have put Colin Kaepernick in.
Jim Harbaugh took a chance, put Colin Kaepernick in the game, and he delivered on the biggest stage. It was a fantastic performance.
Colin Kaepernick, what a game!
There's no denying that Alex Smith has been a welcomed addition to the Kansas City Chiefs, that the utilization of Alex Smith by Coach Andy Reid has been impressive. Nobody can deny that. You got them to a record last year and went to the postseason. We get all of that. But in the end, what it comes down to me is incredibly simple. I think Colin Kaepernick is more talented. I think his upside is greater. And I think that is why he's the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers and not Alex Smith.
Hip-hop in its most purest, most rawest form, flow almost flawless, most hardest, most honest, known artist. Chip off the old block, the old doc is back. Looks like Batman brought his own Robin. Oh God, Saddam's got his own line. With his own project plane, his own pilot. Set the blow polish, dorm room doors off the hinges. Oranges, peach, pears, plums, oranges. Yeah, here I come, I'm inches away from you, there fear none. Hip-hop is in a state of 911, so let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around, what is this? Must be a circus in town, we shut this down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah! Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around, what is this? Must be a circus in town, we shut this down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah! Wait, gotta move fast, gotta perform miracles. G. Willikers, Dre, holy bad syllables. Look at all the bullshit that goes on in Gotham when I'm going. Time to get rid of these rap criminals. So skip to your loo while I do what I do best. You ain't even impressed no more. You're used to it. Flows too wet. Nobody close to it. Nobody says it, but still everybody knows this shit. The most hated on out of all those who say they get hated on in 80 songs and exaggerated all so much they make it all up. There's no such thing like a female with good looks who cooks and cleans. It just means so much more. There's so much more people when you're rapping and you know what for. The show must go on. So I'd like to welcome y'all to Marshall and Andre's Carnival. Come on! Now let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. Let's shut it down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah! Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. Let's shut it down on these clowns, and I get a witness. Hell yeah! It's just like old times, the dynamic duo, two old friends. Why panic? You already know, fully capable. The two Cape heroes, dial straight down the center, 800.
Because he's got 20, including the touchdown catch today. Kaepernick, who's been sacked once, with an overthrow, and he's intercepted by Cody Davis. Cody Davis.
Kaepernick, end zone, Crabtree. Broken up, picked off. This game
Kaepernick got benched for Blaine Gabbert. How's that sit with you?
Let's get to Colin Kaepernick. He has regressed. There is no question about it. And it really, really doesn't make sense when you consider the fact that his quarterback coach is now the offensive coordinator. So it's not like there's been an absence of continuity that's been there. He just doesn't seem to be developing. And just sitting in a chair and playing the role of couch psychologist here, whatever you want to call it, I look at a Colin Kaepernick that does not seem interested in playing the game of football.
Laser shot from Blaine Gabbert. Couldn't throw it any better.
Blaine Gabbert outplayed Colin Kaepernick.
The Broncos say they are interested if you come and you take a $5 million pay cut.
I've took a team to the Super Bowl. How can you ask me to take a pay cut?
Kaepernick's legs strike again.
Colin Kaepernick, if I'm you, buddy, stay in San Francisco.
Remember, he spent much of the offseason recovering from 3 surgeries.
Renegotiation for him to not only make the roster, but stay on the roster.
Him and Blaine will split it right down the middle with the 1s and the 2s.
A $12 million backup in Colin Kaepernick.
The money's guaranteed. If you want to cut me, cut me.
I'm concerned if Cap is even going to buy into this team.
Gabbert back to pass, steps up, and gets sacked again.
That position and him starting, the opportunity will come this year.
Colin Kaepernick is back as starting quarterback of the 49ers.
So he's back in the starting lineup against the Bills.
Cap hasn't played in a long time, but I don't expect him to start right now lighting it up.
Excited about it, ready to go.
Kaepernick can run. Kaepernick has a 49er touchdown. Kaepernick rolling, running, and in for the 2-point conversion if it's against the 49ers.
Well, here's the 2-point conversion here. Who is this guy? He looks like the Kaepernick from a couple of years ago all of a sudden, and I gotta believe.
He sacrificed. He gave up the prime of his career to stand up for something he believed in. A kid, you are jeopardizing future employment. That's precisely why people admired it.
Colin Kaepernick, he is the one of the few 49ers this year that comes out without playoff experience, playing experience.
But here's somebody who's trying to stand for justice and for equality, and you consider that to be somehow embarrassing your NFL that has no problem employing some people who have done some pretty undesirable things.
The dawn's early light.
The near side, intercepted by the Packers, running down the near sideline and taking it in. A pick six by Sam Shields.
They were put in place to control minorities.
Every week, we just see police officers going mental.
Well, the one devastating mistake that every 49er hoped that Kaepernick would avoid in his first playoff game, and he makes it on his first series.
Colin Kaepernick shouldn't be ashamed
of what he did. America should be ashamed of what they're doing.
Kaepernick steps up, will try and run to pick it up. He has NFL ability.
His job.
To the 15, to the 10, to the 5, to the corner and in. Touchdown 49ers.
All those people.
Go ahead, Colin Kaepernick. We're proud of you.
Where are you now?
Images of police beating protesters and other innocent bystanders has become a normality as America sinks into the depths of a tyrannical police state.
Kaepernick had 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions last year when he was healthy enough to play for his third coach in 3 years.
I don't think there's any question he's being blackballed.
Colin Kaepernick, by the way, has won, what, 4 playoff games? 3 of them?
3 years removed from the Super Bowl.
3 of them.
Here's Harris cutting back. DeJuan Harris for the touchdown.
The idea that Colin Kaepernick, well, he's not Tom Brady, but the idea that Colin Kaepernick can't play for some team and that he isn't among the 50 or 60 best quarterbacks who could play in the NFL is ridiculous.
Kaepernick.
He has shown what he can do when he runs and throws at a high level.
Since 1996, in response to the war on drugs, the Department of Defense transferred $4.3 billion in military equipment to local and state police.
Forced, no-knock entries into private homes, and now for almost any reason at all, like serving warrants.
The decision has been made that people aren't going to bring Colin Kaepernick into their team to play.
Colin Kaepernick has been forced to address rumors that he converted to Islam.
Did you hear that he converted to Islam a couple of months ago? Did you hear this?
It's not true.
So the reason they're saying that Kaepernick is a Muslim is because they consider it.
He's being blackballed.
Just before we get into this, who pays his check?
The owners.
All right, and who do we think's blackballing Colin Kaepernick?
Oh, the owners.
Oh, weird.
Oh, who would he make better? He'd make a lot of teams better. He would make a lot of teams better. Better QBR last year than Tannehill, Cam, Wentz, Eli, Bortles, Fitzpatrick, Keenum.
Oh, how about the fact that, I don't know, Ryan Fitzpatrick, for instance, right? He's got a job. You know that man threw 23 interceptions when he was 29 years old? When that team was together with a solid coach and a solid GM relationship, he played well.
Turn and Kaepernick keeps it going outside of the right. He's running down the near side, and Kaepernick is gone. Colin Kaepernick with a great fake. He faked out the entire stadium, and he runs it 56 yards for a 49er touchdown.
We know that Jerry Jones just signed a 36-year-old backup.
And there is no justification for a society where my son has a far greater chance of being stopped, held, killed than your son, simply because he's black.
Because if you're really worried about what this guy who decided to take a social action stance, and that was his decision, who has committed no crimes, you're worried about what idiot fans, and yes, I will say that because you're an idiot fan, if this offends you more than murderers, drug addicts, wife beaters, these are the people that don't bother you, this one does, this is a blackball.